This is Zanzi. I'm Deb. And yes, good job. Thank you for saying hello. This is Zanzi, and I'm Deb. And I'm the hashtag Redheaded She-Hulk. I'm also the founder of hashtag Wellbeing Philosophy. And me and my dog have been homeless for 10 months. I have been left to die by humanity. Every single day, I go on LinkedIn, I talk to people, I tell them about my work. I tell them about my situation. Crickets. Now, here's the problem with this. I am quite literally the little redheaded girl who's grown up to give Sigmund Freud vagina envy. I understand the human subconscious holistically. I understand it multimodally, which is part of the problem. Nobody scrolling through any social media has enough of their brain activated to contemplate that we've gotten being human wrong. I mean, we know it. We have the receipts. We judge people based on the color of their skin, where they grew up, what their gender is, whether or not they're one sort of able, who they love. We're one species, y'all. Homo sapiens sapiens. We've lost our second knowing. That second sapiens. That we don't have the time to remember it belongs. That second sapiens is our crucial knowing. Now, I'm a different kind of human. This is absolutely true. I have to get into trance to talk to y'all because I have lived in trauma, neglect, 2 decades. Yes, I'm autistic as fuck, but that never caused me any problems. What's caused me problems is none of y'all will let me be who I am my entire life. Nobody's handled this truth. I got so much love for this species, and I've got the logic plus love intertwined to get us thinking. The philosophical hypothesis of bioelectricity, and I shouldn't be going into this, but this is cannabis-empowered exploratory thought experiment that is Einstein quality. What I'm going to do for y'all, if you pay attention to me longer than 30 seconds, is bring together bleeding edge science across multiple dimensions. Biologists, chemists, quantum physicists, all of it belongs in how we understand humanness. But also, we can't do it linearly and rigidly. The math of life is 1 + 1 = 3. 1 man plus 1 woman equals a 3rd baby. Life adds up differently than stuff. Stuff adds up exactly how we say it does because stuff has no agency. Life could do all kinds of things. And in our bodies and brains, all kinds of things are happening. And we look at it pathway by pathway by pathway by pathway. Now, here I am not doing what I'm supposed to be doing because I care so much about this species and I don't know why my work has not gotten one single human to go, Deb, I'm going to help you. Tina, please let me come and have sanctuary. I'm the redheaded black swan of human functioning, the She-Sherlock of human functioning. And unless cannabis becomes more widely used by the people who are administering this faulty, flawed, and fraudulent civilization, we have no chance. It's about 30 years. planetary problems like climate change, the chemicals. We're all focused on global warming. The chemicals, this is what's wrong with me, and this is why I would be honored to come to the farm, create content, really great content. I'll niche it down. I promise. Once I'm no longer in the trauma of living on the streets, I've lived in abject poverty for so long, and nobody cares. Nobody buys me a cup of coffee. There's maybe about this many people in the world who, when I've insisted that I'm about to die, have come up and given me just enough. But then I go, okay, I'm doing my work. Nobody pays for my work. And then I'm back at this point right here where here comes a big, huge garbage truck. There's the exhaust plume. I almost died of a toxic mold exposure. This is what the crazy part is I spent all the money I earned as a software consultant, a degreed philosopher from Carnegie Mellon, staying alive. Clearly I did so. And I'm flummoxed. I am flummoxed. I just go joyfully around going, I know more about being human because of my lived experiences, and I've proven these hypotheses. They're complex, but they're also quite simple. And if people would listen to me, but this is my childhood neglect, childhood trauma of being in a community of origin where nobody was a philosopher. Nobody was interested in allowing me to learn early on how to communicate as the world-class intellect I am. But here's the thing. All those actual people who have been assessed as world-class intellects, they don't have the joy, the play, or the wise feminine aspect. It's all masculine. It's all linear. It's all going to self-extinct our species. I hope I've given you a glimpse of my future. But my present is I'm seriously ill from the sensory overwhelm of autism. I need to get out of places where I'm assaulted by leaf blowers and garbage truck exhaust and the decibels of all of these construction vehicles beep, beep, beeping around, and get back to the land, to nature. Let myself ground, because being so in jeopardy, I just my intellect, and people leave me for dead. They just won't spend the time to help me. Even though all I'm trying to do is spend the time to help our entire species. It's really a bum deal. It really is. That said, all of this trains, the wine train, straight through all these vineyards, all this expensive property, coal, I can't make it up. This world is toxic and poison. And think of the slaves that built the railroads to begin with. Think of the human harm. Think of the lives that were simply not respected or cared for. I know I'm coming from a place of immense privilege. That doesn't mean that I deserve to die. because it is my truth that knowing about that privilege, I want everyone to be exactly who they are. And I don't see anyone else fully comprehending that we are beings of sound. And I will come to the farm and help the plants help our species. I don't know that much about horticulture, but I do know that plants have consciousness, and I do know that I can help you share the immense difference in your well-loved plants and what they can do for my body. So initially, cannabis saved my life. I lost 150 pounds in 15 months after turning 50, but it was more about reversing the toxic mold exposure, which took away over 80% of my ability to walk and talk. So yes, I've Humpty Dumpty'd myself. I'm quite literally, like a stroke victim, rewired around my left brain. And that's why I've been left to die by plantation capitalism. Well, you got to get the left brain right. You got to create the spreadsheets. If you want any kind of money, you got to... Somebody else can do that. I'm the talent. I am this person who sees the world differently and wants to perform it. I want to do these Socratic monologues. And as soon as I'm not fighting for my own life and having to interject and say, well, I can't just tell you all how human bodies work. Nobody's going to pay me, put on the internet for free. I'll go extinct. But once that element is out of this, I'm here to tell you, onto the biggest discovery in science, integrating science. This is where we're at as a species. We've got to see the multimodalness of consciousness. We've got to understand how we are interconnected with every bit of life on Earth. Every single cell that's alive on Earth, we can communicate with. And that you love your plants, and that you see that they shift consciousness onto something. Finally, love the little intro to Joni. I am certain she will be all over figuring out how to help the wise feminine sit all the little boys down and tell them they got it all wrong. Imagine what's going to change when, over the course of the next decade, I become recognized as the smartest human on the planet. I was like, just going to be joyful and childlike about it. Just going to be like, don't listen to me if you don't want to. I got to get that one little bit of financial security. Then I'm disrupting everything. I'm going to save our species from self-extincting using #wellbeingphilosophy. All right. I don't know if you'll see this one. Harmony.